Hey guys, what's up? Instigator92 here, and today I just want to ask one question. Can Halo ever get back to where it was? I think this is a pretty good question we should be asking. Halo Studios has been in control of Halo for the past 16 years, and things have only been going downhill since they took over. I mean, honestly, since Halo Reach, in my opinion, things have been going downhill. To seeing some of the stuff that's come out recently from former employees, to the way that they're handling Halo Campaign Evolved, the Faithful remake. All of these things really do beg the question, can Halo ever get back to where it was? So let's take a look at a couple things, and then at the end I'll give you my opinion. So first things first, we'll quickly gloss over the current allegations from former employee Glenn Israel. So basically, he talks about being blacklisted, fraud, and harassment from Microsoft's HR team, and them going out of their way with a harassment campaign to get him removed from his job and terminated, and that they were basically retaliatory towards him after bringing up complaints about things going on in the workplace. Along with Glenn, there have been other former employees that have brought up similar things and talking about lack of creative freedom and other things that make working on Halo more difficult than it needs to be, especially their hiring practices with 18-month contracts. So I'm just going to do that little gloss over. There have been other people recently who have covered this in a lot more detail, and if I happen to get something wrong, I do apologize, but I just kind of want to get into some of the other topics that I want to talk about for this video, more so than this, but this will definitely be a part of that. So to get the ball rolling here, let's take a look at the past 16 years. 343, or Halo Studios, whatever you want to call them, has put out 3 games. Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite. And they really don't have anything to show for it. Since Halo 4, they have been trying to capture a new audience and pretty much leave the old one behind. Now with Halo Infinite, they kind of changed that around a bit. I think they realized that without the old fans, they're not going to have anything with these new games. Especially with the focus on trend chasing that they've been doing. Halo 4 was pretty much their jab at trying to either be like a Call of Duty or at least take from their audience. Halo 5 pushed this even further with adding even more advanced movement and mechanics and just hyper-focusing on competitive players. They weren't even worried about the casual player. That is mostly what plays Halo, and any other game. No game is successful without the casual player. If you aim for just having sweaty players, you're going to have a game fail like Splitgate. A game that was so hyper-focused on being competitive and all this advanced movement, especially with Splitgate 2, not even the first one, that look where they're at now. Nobody is playing that game. They wasted all that time and money and effort trying to launch the Splitgate IP several times over the year. And then we go to Halo Infinite. A game that, while it may have pulled back a little bit on what Halo 5 introduced, it still kept a lot of those things, was still very much hyper-focused on competitive, and had G-slides that they should have just fixed in the beginning, but has turned, once again, Halo into an advanced movement competitive shooter. If you ask me, they should stop trying to change Halo's gameplay and the game's identity. Like, here we are, if we go back and look at 2007, peak of Halo. And what was Halo? A simple, fun party game. Now, the start of Halo's downfall definitely started with Halo Reach. A lot of things were introduced into that game that were not liked by a lot of players, myself included. Outside of playing Invasion, I found myself constantly going back to Halo 3 and playing that. Like, there's just something to be said about the simplicity of the original trilogy. They were beautiful, fun games, and I know a lot of people now these days really want to take a look at games and talk about, skill gap. I would argue, classic Halo, yes, it had a lower skill floor, which is something that attracts the more casual player and, in turn, new players, because now you have a game that they could just pick up and play. And then if they want to continue playing that game, now they can put in the time to master it. Not very many people want to start grinding a game that has high actions per minute and is just a sweaty game. Like, if I start playing a game and everyone is just sliding around super fast everywhere, doing all this fancy shit and everything, I'm not going to want to pick that up and continue playing it. Like, everyone has their own opinion on games, and there's definitely that advanced movement shooter crowd. But, like, holy shit, like, when you go to play a game for the first time that has multiplayer and everyone's sliding around, fucking grappling everywhere, repulsing, all this stuff, like, even just running back and forth and trapping people in spawns, if you're someone that plays at a higher rank or skill level because of the skill-based matchmaking, that is not a fun gameplay loop. It is not. It is just nothing but chaos. And there's a reason why a lot of people walked away from Halo Infinite. It's not the lack of content that people keep spouting and putting out there. Your game is not accessible to the average player. Someone that wants to come home from work and just sit down and relax, grind out a few games, whether it be ranked or social. These kinds of games require you to put in time and effort to increase your actions per minute and to just keep your skill level up. Like, that is just not fun. Now, I did it with both Halo 5 and Infinite. I played them a lot. I'm a Halo fan through and through. I really just want to play Halo every day. But, like, the experiences that these games brought, while I did have some fun with them, they are nowhere near as enjoyable as the classic games. And they just bring a lot more frustration than anything else. You know, when I play Halo, I want to play Halo. And that's what Legacy Halo was. It was something that I could go to work, come home from school, pick up and play, have fun with my friends, whether I'm playing ranked or even just BTB. So that's something that, like, these Halo games from Halo Studios, 343, again, whatever you want to call them, they're really just missing that fun aspect. They don't want to make Halo. Between their leadership and Microsoft, they just want to chase the trends because Call of Duty sells every year. They think that's what everyone wants. Not everyone wants to play every single, excuse my language, fucking shooter game as an advanced movement shooter. You know, it's okay for Halo to be seen as a game that's maybe a little bit slower. Even though, pace-wise, you still get into combat just as fast as a game where you're sprinting into it, it's just perceived differently. And again, that is okay. And honestly, that is Halo's best gameplay loop. Simple movement, guns, grenades, melee. And honestly, if iterations are to be made to Halo, it needs to be within the sandbox. You know, the vehicles, equipment, weapons, grenades. Iterations on that type of stuff is how you change Halo and move things forward. You don't take your game and try to completely change its gameplay to something that you think people will like, or because you want to try to get Call of Duty fans to buy your game. Like, they just have the exact wrong mindset to be the ones handling this series. I mean, let's take a look at the faithful remake for Halo Campaign Evolved. We have Sprint, ADS, skins for weapons and for Chief coming into the game. For Christ's sake, we even have hit markers in a campaign-only game. I literally just do not get what they're trying to do here. You know what I do know? They're trying to change Halo here, basically grab it by the roots and plant something different. They want to try to get away from classic and legacy Halo and go as far away from it as possible. That is what they're trying to do here, because if they can successfully pull this off and then do the same thing with Halo 2 and 3, they will have changed Halo's identity to the younger crowd, newer players, and they're just going to keep losing the old, the ones that made this series successful, the ones that are still basically keeping it alive, because we all buy in, and then eventually everyone sees what the game is, the mask comes off, and then they step away, and then you have, you know, Halo 4, 5, and Infinite. Nobody's playing the game, a few months later, or not even a few months, like a month or two, and you're just seeing the same old names in matchmaking for the next few years to come until the next game comes out, to basically just rinse and repeat. Now, do I think Campaign Evolved will sell well? Maybe. I don't think it'll do extremely wild numbers. I think it'll just kind of be meh. I don't think it's going to really change anything because, like, if they were going to pull in new players, you know, Halo came out on PC, your biggest player base, and they couldn't even pull people in with Halo Infinite. So even if you add PlayStation to the mix, I do not think it's going to change anything. I mean, this is a campaign-only game. I don't think very many people outside of already existing Halo fans are going to buy into this, and mostly just for that new content, like those 3 new missions with Sergeant Johnson, and maybe to experience the game with 4 players, isn't really going to be enough. Like, if you wanted to bring everyone back, you would have gone full faithful remake, have the proper models for the Covenant, the Marines. The Forerunner architecture would look just like it did in Halo CE, you know, like it was actually there sitting for years and years, becoming all weathered and maybe starting to finally rust, break down, whatever. Like, just look ancient instead of this brand new, shiny alloy. I mean, a lot of these spaces that they're using aren't even built for some of these new gameplay mechanics that they're putting in there. I mean, with Sprint, you know, you have the same, for the most part, I'm sure, level designs where they're not made for Sprint. I mean, because they would always have vehicles in segments where there's larger spaces and terrain to cover. I mean, even having ADS is a very silly mechanic to have in Halo in general, not even just Campaign Evolved. Like, if they were going to add anything, put in the binoculars from Halo 2 and 3. Speaking on that, adding in mechanics and maybe some other equipment from later games, yeah, you know, that's cool. That's an iteration on the sandbox for Halo CE. More things have been added. You know, the lore's been expanded and whatnot. It would just kind of make more sense to maybe have some other things or be able to use certain vehicles now. You know, Chief has the ability to hijack. So, if we go back to Halo CE, yeah, you know, it probably makes sense that he could hijack a vehicle. Or even use an energy sword or a fuel rod cannon. Okay. Do I think Halo can ever get back to its peak? Yes. I do think that it can get back to its peak if the right things are done and they go back to that classic legacy style of Halo and just iterate upon Halo Sandbox. Because at the end of the day, Halo is a sandbox game, not an advanced movement shooter. But the caveat to that is it's under Halo Studios or 343, again, whatever you want to call them, and being controlled by Microsoft. Underneath them, I'm not so sure that I have the confidence that they could pull it off. Nor will they pull it off. I think they are all in on the direction that they're going, and there's no steering this ship. In fact, they intentionally sabotaged the rudder, and it's just going to be basically do or die. I think what you need is a brand new studio. Microsoft just needs to get rid of the IP, give it to someone else, and let people that are actually passionate about Halo, what it is, where it came from, handle this series. I think that's the way to go. Ultimately, these are my thoughts and opinions. Feel free to let me know what you guys think down below. I'll be keeping an eye on the chat, interacting, and hopefully things don't get too out of control, as sometimes these discussions tend to do. And if you made it this far, I really do appreciate it. And if you happen to like this content, please leave a like and subscribe. And click that notification bell. You'll get notified anytime I upload videos, and I happen to stream 3 days a week, Monday, Thursday, Friday, 7:30 p.m. Central. And on top of that, I'd like to see if I can hit 500 subscribers at some point this year, as a neat little goal to hit. So with all that said, I really do appreciate you guys sticking around watching this video. And with that said, catch you guys on the next one.